So I built a tool for Singapore property agents to find more leads, find more rental leads specifically, and this is how I did it. So the first thing I did was to start with Gemini. So the idea is to refine this idea. I had this idea that I wanted to build something that could help property agents. They need to find a lot of their work is finding good leads, basically homeowners that want to rent and have motivation to rent. So I riffed on this idea of Gemini and refined it. The output at the end of the day was a spec that I wanted to show that I can bring into Claude Code. So once I had this spec, this at least a decent outline of what I wanted the app to do, I went to this second round of refinement. So the idea there was to open up Claude Code. I had an idea what I wanted to do in terms of the spec itself, but I needed to specify things like the tech stack. I wanted to use Next.js with Supabase, the classic stack. I wanted to deploy on Vercel. And the third thing that was really helpful was using the Superpowers plugin in Claude Code because it has this brainstorming function and helps you to really redraft and refine the planning before Claude Code jumps into the implementation. So after this, once the brainstorm, you're really happy with Claude Code, then you can jump into the implementation stage. So mind you, this wasn't a one shot where I could just explain it and then it got it done. It actually, even when implementing, it actually took me 4 rounds of iterations and many sessions. So basically, even though the sessions, it only took me a weekend in total, it was multiple sessions, multiple rounds of feedback, 4 rounds of feedback in total, actually. The first round was after it gave me something that I could see, I needed to still get a lot of the foundations right. So the UI wasn't how I expected, the list of leads wasn't presenting how I wanted, so I had to improve that. Second round and third rounds were more about data accuracy. So some of the data wasn't accurate, wasn't pulling it correctly from the API I was using, URA's API, and some of the data also was including data, a lot of it that wasn't helpful. So I had to refine and filter this out. And the last round of iterations was mostly aesthetic, mostly about making sure the minor details, the usability felt good. And technically, you can iterate as many times as you want, but it was very clear at that point after the fourth one that any improvement I would try to make would be me guessing actually whether you actually make the app better, whether it's design or whether it's displaying something. And so then it's very clear that, okay, now it's the time to go and get feedback from actual users as to whether it's really helpful. And so this is the final result. So this is my app right now, and I've already collated the leads. So we've managed to pull out 352 of them. Should be quite simple. All they need to do is click here if they get access, and they have this whole list of leads. They can filter by district, so if they focus on any particular district, or they can filter by number of bedrooms they're looking at. So as you can see here, how the property agent will come in and they can see, oh, there's a lead here at Melville Park. And why am I suggesting this is a top lead? It's because there's a big yield gap. So the idea is that between the current rent, the place is currently rented out for 3,150 a month, whereas the median rent in that building, not the district, not anywhere, just Melville Park itself, that area, is going for 4,200. You can see that even this is rented for 350. All these properties, all 3 bedrooms, are being rented out for significantly more. So you can see the idea is that for property agent, it's very attractive. You can go to a landlord, and if you can find this particular landlord, you can tell him it's very reasonable to go out there and help you get extra $1K and $50 a month. That's at least even if you get just the median rent. And mind you, there are actually a lot more units, 3 bedroom units that go for a lot more. Other cool things I did was I wanted to make sure that they can go to URA itself to verify the data. Don't trust this at my word. URA has their own website. It's clearly their interface isn't as neat and as optimized for surfacing leads for property agents. But if you really want to double check data. And I have a little guidance here. I'm not sure if property agents will like this, but they can maybe approach the lead. So these things are generated like they're 11 months till likely expiry, 2 year scenario. So now is the window. Landlords think about renewals 3 to 6 months out. Go out, little pitch line, like your tenant's paying X amount, you can get this Y amount. To be honest, if I can't identify unit numbers, there are a few tactics they have to do, like go to the building and place flyers everywhere within Melville Park. At least it's not they have a sense of which condos to go to, or they can run geo-targeted ads within like 1 km of where Melville Park is. Other things they can do also is to check Property Guru 99 code for listings to verify this market rate that I found. And I'm fairly confident about data, but also always, like I said, good to double check. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching this with me. But do note that no app is done without a good marketing strategy, good marketing plan. And I believe that's at least 50% of the work on top of building the product. So right now, my next step is to get 10 property agents to test this my app for free. And the idea is that how am I going to find 10 property agents? I thought about this while building the app, and I realized there are a lot of Facebook groups where these property agents hang out and they try to market their services or market properties. There are a lot of Telegram channels, and many of them are very obviously on LinkedIn, and so I can DM them on LinkedIn as well. So these are the 3 channels I'm going to try to leverage and reach out to more property agents. Follow along and see how it goes.